Oh, he's got the pace to get away from Johnny Evans. Sinisterra turns, gives that to Jacob Ramsey. He's going to strike to Jacob Ramsey, lays it off to Sinisterra. He's going to strike with his left. Leeds United are back once again. We sit third in the Premier League table, 10 games in to this second season in this career mode after what was a brilliant episode last time, getting positive results against Chelsea and Manchester City, and the big games keep on coming. Liverpool, Newcastle, Preston, Wolves, and I'm also going to be playing some games in December as well, the likes of United, Leicester, West Ham and Stoke City as well. But just before we do that, I just wanted to give you a quick rundown on how well my players are progressing so far this season. As you can see, Adeyemi, he's on 79, but the likes of Sinisterra, who's now up to 82, Dan James, Shaparenko, Christensen, Kalulu, and Meslier are all up to 80. So at the start of Season 1, we only had Sinisterra ranked in the 80s. He was the only player, and now we're really starting to build a team that can start competing for European places. And it's on to game number 1 in this episode, and of course, it is away to Liverpool at Anfield. What a way to kick this episode off. So Liverpool kick off 4-3-3. Alexander-Arnold, Johnny Evans in centre-back alongside Van Dijk. What on earth is he doing there? Odegaard, their top signing, of course, comes in midfield, and it is a dangerous trio of Salah, Nunez and Diaz up front. As for us, of course, we also line up 4-3-3. No changes at the back. Christensen, Kalulu, Struijk and Firpo. The likes of Shaparenko, Roca, Ramsey in midfield, and of course Dan James, Adeyemi and Sinisterra, the attacking three up front. Plays that across to Brahim Diaz. Roca's there, doesn't block it. Luis Diaz straight into Meslier. Sinisterra gets it back. Sinisterra now driving into space here. Oh, he's got the pace to get away from Johnny Evans. Sinisterra! Oh my word. Finds Dan James. He looks for the run of Christensen. Christensen to whip this one in to Brahim Diaz. Odegaard now driving forward into Darwin Nunez. He checks back and he's looking for the run of Odegaard. He finds the run of Odegaard. Odegaard turns around as well. Looks like he's lining up for the power shot. Shaparenko in space. Going to try and look for an outside ball to Sinisterra. That is a sensational ball. He checks back in on his right foot, trying to make space, going to strike. Again, I'm going to look for the run of Sinisterra. I find him. Looks like Adeyemi was blocked off. Sinisterra going to check on his right again. And this time, he makes no mistake. We lead here at Anfield 1-0. That ball through to Sinisterra has been on all day long. Mo Salah looks like he's going to try and whip this one into the box. Instead, he goes short to Odegaard, who whips it in instead. And Virgil van Dijk, with a monster header, gets in ahead of Junior Firpo. He says thank you very much, and he gets Liverpool right back into this game. Firpo out wide on the left-hand side. I do find him. He checks into Jacob Ramsey. Jacob Ramsey on his right. Dan James going to try and look for Adeyemi. He does find him. He tries to look for Shaparenko. Adeyemi ended up getting challenged there by Darwin Nunez. And has he got the pace to drive ahead? He does. There's only Struijk back defending. There's men in the box for Liverpool. They check inside. Roca gives it to Jacob Ramsey. He's got acres of space on this left-hand side as Liverpool have pressed up. He switches it onto his right. Luis Diaz on the left-hand side. Plays it inside to the substitute Diego Jota. Look at the pace he has in place of Roca. Roca's going absolutely nowhere. Lays it back to Odegaard. Brahim Diaz is in. He finds Shaparenko. He lays it off to Christensen. Christensen drives into the box, tries to lay it off for Gelhardt. And that is that for the end of the game. That was our last opportunity. We didn't take it. It ends here at Anfield 1-1. Game number 2 of the episode. We are back at Ellen Road for a huge game against Newcastle United. And I've of course gone with 4-3-3. The only changes are 2. Luca Netz firstly coming back in at left back, I should say, for Firpo. And Gelhardt get a surprising start here. I just felt Adeyemi was a little bit quiet against Liverpool and also was beforehand as well. So just thought I'd give Gelhardt another run in the team. As for Newcastle, they've also matched us up. They've gone 4-3-3. But it looks like, actually, despite all of the money that they've got, they haven't actually brought in too many big players. Tries to lay it off. He does lay it off to Roca. Roca gives it to Sinisterra. He finds himself in field and he looks for the path of Dan James. He does. Can he dink it over? He can. Oh, Berardi gets there ahead of the defender. Kalulu is desperately trying to race back. And Longstaff has been sent off for an absolute horrendous challenge on Dan James. You can see it in the replay here. I actually stopped commentating because I didn't think the game was going anywhere. And Newcastle now are down to 10 men. Dimabe has it now, driving through the centre of my defence. Where are my defence? Christensen! Newcastle look like they're going to go short with this corner to Berardi. They do. He flings it into the box. Since Newcastle have gone to 10 men, this game has opened up massively. Joe Linton now. What was I doing defensively? Newcastle have it. Meslier. What a huge save. Muriel now trying to drive past Struijk. He is able to check back into Berardi, and Kalulu with some fantastic defending. Tries to fling that one out to the substitute Popescu. He does. Popescu gets there ahead of the defender. He's going to try and float it all the way over to Dan James. It's a wonderful ball. Dan James lays it off to Shaparenko. Has the momentum of this attack just fizzled out. Popescu now trying to get onto his right to fling this straight at the goalkeeper. Jacob Ramsey trying to look for the run of Gerhard. Gerhard ended up checking back, but Popescu is there now. Popescu turns, gives that to Jacob Ramsey. He's going to strike. Dan James to take this one straight into the penalty box. And it's a great save from Dubravka after a huge header from Kalulu. And I think that is that. What a big opportunity to try and win the game at the end. We don't take it. It ends here 0-0. And is that an opportunity missed considering Newcastle were down to 10 men? And after 2 draws, we're on to our 3rd game of the episode. And it's going to be the first game we are going to sim away at Preston. You can see from our starting 11, not really too many changes. Adeyemi comes back in up front. Luca Netz, of course, comes back in at left back. And both those changes work an absolute treat. We win 4-1. Dan James, Shaparenko, Adeyemi and Sinisterra all getting on the score sheet. A massive win and one that we desperately needed. On to game number 4, and it's another game I am going to sim, bearing in mind we've got Manchester United next. And as you can see, I've gone pretty heavy on rotation. The likes of Matt Doherty making his debut for us. Firpo Llorente back in. Tyler Adams back in central defensive midfield. He's back in from the cold after struggling coming back from an injury. Fagioli starts, Popescu, Harrison as well, and Gerhard also returns to the starting lineup up front. And it looks like Dan James had to come on and spare our blushes with 2 goals in the second half. Adama Traore ended up getting the equaliser annoyingly after Gerhard missed a penalty. It's 2-2 here and it's another 2 points dropped. And as I said, up next, a massive game at Old Trafford against Manchester United. And United kick off 4-2-3-1. The likes of Ricardo Pereira and Alphonso Davies in the wing-back positions. Van der Beek, Casemiro, and Llorente, Sancho, Julian Brandt, and Ronaldo up front. United looking a seriously dangerous opposition in Season 2. And as for us, of course, it's the usual 4-3-3. No real surprises. Christensen, Luca Netz also come back into the starting 11. The likes of Roca, Shaparenko, Ramsey in midfield. Dan James, Adeyemi, Sinisterra, the attacking trio. He finds Jacob Ramsey, trying to look for Luca Netz on the left-hand side, but he's not offering. Roca strikes! United try and play this down the left-hand side. Christensen with a wonderful challenge, lays that off to Roca. Roca tries to play it in to Jacob Ramsey, lays it off to Sinisterra. He's going to strike with his left! Oh my word! To an unmarked Ricardo Pereira. He tries to turn, lays it off to Donny van der Beek. Van der Beek drives into the penalty area. No one putting a challenge on him. Casemiro now. United playing great football. Llorente into the back of the net. United give themselves the lead inside 25 minutes. And they've absolutely ripped us apart there. He lays it off to Adeyemi. Adeyemi looking for options. Ends up twisting and turning away from the defender. Oh, that's a wonderful ball to Dan James. Can he play it across the box? He can! Sinisterra, what on earth are you doing? He turns and he finds Roca infield. Roca going to look for Shaparenko. Shaparenko tried to find Dan James. Couldn't get through to him. He got through to Jacob Ramsey though. And he ends up smashing it against the defender. But we pick it up again with Sinisterra. Lays it off to Roca. Shaparenko now has it. Tries to shift it onto his left. I'm trying desperately to find an angle here. Roca has it. He strikes against the defender. And United are clear once again. To Adeyemi. Adeyemi looks out wide to the left-hand side. That's a wonderful ball to Sinisterra. Sinisterra across the box. Dan James! Oh my word. Out wide now to Dan James. I was looking for Christensen, and eventually I find him. Christensen with time to pick out a ball. Christensen lays that off to Roca. Roca going to try and find the run of Jacob Ramsey. He does! And Jacob Ramsey finally puts us into this game once again. It's the equaliser from him, and it's 1-1 here at Old Trafford after some great build-up play that thoroughly deserved the goal. Oh, Dan James picks this up on the right-hand side. Look at the space he's got to run into, and the pace as well to burst in. He lays this off to Shaparenko. She shifts it onto his left. Llorente Back to Casemiro. He lays it off to Julian Brand, who strikes. Meslier throws that one out. I don't think that was the right choice, and it definitely wasn't. We give it away. He finds Gelhardt. Gelhardt now on the right-hand side finds Christensen. This is wonderful build-up play again. Christensen goes across the box, and we just again cannot get our foot on the end of it. Christensen is there once again. Shaparenko now trying to go down the line, but the referee in the end blows his whistle for what has been a pretty balanced game here at Old Trafford. It finishes 1-1, and I think that is definitely a point I will gladly take. And it's on to another game this episode, and as you can see, it is at home to Leicester City. And as you'll see from my starting 11, of course, it's 4-3-3, but the major talking point, Matt Doherty comes in at right back. This is going to be the first time I'm actually going to be playing with Matt Doherty. It's only his second appearance for us since he joined in the summer. Jack Harrison also comes in at left winger, I should say, in place of Sinisterra. As for Leicester City, a 4-1-4-1. I always find on FIFA, well, especially FIFA 23, they seem to go quite defensive as well. So, didn't work out for me too well the last time I played them. Hoping for a better result this time. Finds Matt Doherty on this right-hand side. He finds himself driving now through the centre of the park. He lays it off to Shaparenko. Matt Doherty picks it up once again in the centre of the park. He is very, very much involved early doors. Dan James dinks this one over the top. Jamie Vardy has it now. He lays it off to Diatta down this left-hand side. My word, he's got some pace, but Kalulu is there just in the nick of time. Shaparenko, he looks over the top once again to Dan James. Dan James proving a great, great buy for me. And Jack Harrison was almost there. Leicester have it with Albrighton. Manages to get himself away from Matt Doherty, but Doherty tracking back. Can't stop him still. Driving into the box. And in the end, what on earth is he doing? Can we get it clear? We can. He's driving into the centre now. That's a wonderful ball through to Albrighton. And he strikes. It's way high and wide. Meslier, oh Meslier, what on earth are you doing? Meslier has absolutely shafted himself. It's a horrendous piece of goalkeeping. My word, I was trying to pass that out to Matt Doherty and he just gives it straight to the Leicester City defender. Look at this replay. And straight into the back of the net it goes. We gift Leicester a goal here. It's 1-0. Diatta picks it up. He's been so dangerous so far in this game and he finds a wonderful ball through down the right-hand side to Tielemans, who just about, I thought that went off to be fair, but he somehow managed to keep it in play. Diatta has it again, lays it into Vardy, and it's 2-0 here, and Leicester City absolutely carve us to pieces. I think I was caught cold by the fact that Tielemans caught it in. I thought for sure that ball went out. Clearly it didn't. Vardy knew it didn't. He stuck it in the back of the net, and Leicester find themselves 2-0 up here at Ellen Road. And Didi, oh, nice play from Rocker there. Lays it off to Adeyemi to put us one back. He does. Smashes that one into the back of the net. Picks the ball up. Great work from Rocker and a brilliant finish from Adeyemi. It's 2-1 here. We're back in this game. Adeyemi coming deep now. Lays that off to Junior Firpo. He gives it to Jacob Ramsey. Can Jacob Ramsey find the ball through to Adeyemi? He can. Adeyemi to score. He does. It's 2-2. And within a blink of an eye, we are right back in this game. What a way to kick off the first 20 minutes of the second half. Adeyemi with a brace. And it's 2-2 here. Into the feet of Adeyemi. He's definitely looking for his hat-trick, but instead he lays it off to the on-running Jacob Ramsey. He's going to try and drive into the penalty area. Checks back onto his right. It's great defending from Leicester. Oh, that's a wonderful ball down the line to Calabria. He's on the left-hand side, trying to find a ball in the box. And Kalulu, with a great piece of defending, ends up getting away from two players and lays it off down the line to Shaparenko. He tries to turn, lays it off down the left-hand side to Jack Harrison. He's got space on this left-hand side, tries to throw it into the box. Adeyemi can't get there. Manages to get away from Struijk. Struijk is absolutely knackered trying to chase him down, and he just can't do it. Calabria, and in the end, Meslier manages to get his hand on it. Jacob Ramsey going to try and play the ball through to Adeyemi. He does. Adeyemi, can he find Jack Harrison? He can't. What an unbelievable game. It finishes here 2-2 at Ellen Road. The most end-to-end game I think I've played so far this season, in particular that second half. We managed to claw 2 goals back after a fantastic brace from Adeyemi, and it finishes here 2-2. On to the next game we go, and as you can see, it is against West Ham United at the London Stadium. 2 big changes from my starting 11. Coke comes in at the back in place of a fatigued Struijk, and also Fagioli comes in central midfield for a very fatigued Jacob Ramsey. And as for West Ham, it is 4-2-3-1 for them. But as you can see from some of their players, they are playing a few youth players, the likes of Bagan, Downs and Chesters as well. So we really should be looking to get a result here. Into Adeyemi. He finds Fagioli. Can he find Sinisterra on the left? I think he can. He's not offside, but instead blazes that high and wide. Rocker wins the head. Fagioli lays that off to Sinisterra. He's got time to pick out his man. Dinks it over. Can we get there? No, we can't. Into the feet of Shaparenko. He turns, gives it to Adeyemi. Doesn't really have too many options. In the end, finds Fagioli. Sinisterra and Fagioli almost getting mixed up there. Fagioli now looks out wide to Lucanet. Tries to dink this one in. Can we get on the end of it? We can't yet again. Fagioli going to look for the ball over the top to Sinisterra. It's a wonderful ball, and Sinisterra gets there ahead of the defender. He's now driving into the centre. Not going anywhere though. Ends up laying it off to Rocker. He gives it to Shaparenko. Turns and strikes. Brilliant save from the goalkeeper, and it's the first real big chance of the game. Dan James with the corner flings this one into the far post. Actually, it's to the near post, and Christensen gets his head on it, and he powers it past the goalkeeper. It's been a pretty boring game so far, I will have to admit. The highlights are few and far between, but what a highlight that was. Christensen with a monster header inside the 6-yard box puts us 1-0 up here at the London Stadium. Into Dan James. Dan James finds Adeyemi. He goes back to Dan James with space to run into here. He's got Sinisterra at the back post, fires it into the back of the net, and we lead here 2-0 at the London Stadium. Dan James now on the right-hand side. Checks back out wide to Christensen. He's got space to pick across. He does pick across, but he doesn't pick the right person. Into the path of Souček. Finds Rodrigo out wide on the right-hand side. Great work from him to get away from the defender. Goes into the box. Kalulu with a massive challenge. He gets it back from him. Can he try and get a ball in? Christensen is there, and defensively, we have been absolutely fantastic today. Into Paqueta, tries to turn. Koch is there. Defensively, we are unbelievable today. We release Dan James down the right-hand side. He's got so much pace. He's got Sinisterra again at the far post. Scamacca lays that off to Paqueta. Only less than a minute left. Kalulu almost there. Gets caught up. Rodrigo. West Ham with the corner. Going to be the last corner of the game. They throw it in straight into the hands of Meslier. It was Fabianski who was up in the box. Didn't even see him there until the whistle blew. It's game over here at the London Stadium. It's another win. It's another 3 points in the bag. It's 2-0 leads. And it's on to the last game of the episode. It's a game I'm going to be simming at home to Stoke City. You can see from my starting 11, I have made a few changes. Tyler Adams comes in central defensive midfield, and Junior Firpo comes in at left back. Matt Doherty also comes in at right back too. And we are starting to prove we have some serious depth in our squad. 3-0 against Stoke City. Harrison, Sinisterra and Adeyemi getting on the score sheet. What a result, and what a way to finish off this episode. And as we end the episode, we find ourselves in third position still after 18 games played. What an unbelievable season we're having. We're only a point off of Chelsea, and we're 5 points behind Manchester City, who sit top. United 4th, Arsenal 5th, Liverpool 6th, and Spurs find themselves all the way down in 10th as we scroll down the table. Fulham, Preston and Stoke are in the bottom 3, and to be honest, all hope looks lost for them already. Fulham 5 points behind Norwich, but as for us, somehow, some way, we find ourselves in third after what has been an incredible episode where we've gone completely unbeaten. And as we move on to the next episode, you'll see we've got 3 games remaining in December: Spurs, Everton and Norwich as well. And we've also got Southampton, Palace and Leicester City. So I'll look to play all of those games as well as tell you what my transfer plans are in the January transfer window. But that is that for the end of this game. Thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed it, please feel free to like and subscribe. It will do the channel an absolute world of good. And I'll see you again next time.